the structure of today's video is going to be a little bit different, guys. All in all, we're going to be doing a Q&A format, and I'm going to be mixing in some B-roll and little footage here and there from the workout that I'm getting in today. So you're going to see the beginning and the end of the beginning, the middle, and the end. But all in all, just follow along. How are y'all doing? It's Aaron Alanese, CEO and founder of Basics. And in today's video, I'm going to be answering a few questions that you all asked me on my Instagram page in order to make the first Q&A video that we're uploading on this channel. Check it out. So again, before we dive in today, guys, make sure that you like this video and subscribe to this channel for new videos every single week on fitness, nutrition, and self-improvement as a whole for men. And again, if you're not subscribed, I don't know what to tell you. We're almost at 400 subscribers at the time that I'm recording this video. So again, we're climbing up, we're climbing up, we're climbing up. Also, if you want to check out an article that my buddy Quentin ended up writing, he ended up writing it about my story, my upbringing, and everything else that I've done up to this point. If you want a little bit more context as to who I am, what I do, and how I got here, it's a great read. Check it out. If you want to participate in the next Q&A that I do, go ahead and follow me on Instagram at Aaron Alanese Fit. It's always in the corner of each and every single one of my videos. That way, next time I do a Q&A video, you can see my story, you can ask your question there, and who knows, maybe I'll answer your question in a video.
One night and one more time. Thanks for the memories. Thanks for the memories.
So today we're also wearing some nice Tanaka gear too, guys. When it comes down to it, these shorts are crazy. This shirt is crazy. I don't know how I feel about this oversized shirt trend, to be honest with you. I'm one of these guys that likes when my arms hug the sleeves because it just feels right. It just feels right. One of y'all tell Sean Lee Coker that I look real good in this gear, so we got to start. I'm messing with you. Or am I messing with you? We'll see. So the first question is, how long are you in the gym for? On average, 1 hour, 2 hours, or shorter? You know, man, it really just depends on how well I manage my schedule that day. Ideally speaking, I try to stay in the gym for about 2 hours. But sometimes if I fall off track on my schedule, I'll show up to the gym 30 minutes, literally 30 minutes before they close. Sometimes an hour before they close, whatever the case may be. And I'm a big believer in getting some kind of workout in versus zero workout in. So really when it comes down to it, man, I'm very disciplined when it comes down to going to the gym for that 2 hours when I do have the time to get a full workout in. Typically the workout's going to consist of about an hour and a half of lifting and about 30 to 35 minutes of cardio after my workout. But again, if I'm on a time crunch for whatever reason, I'm not the kind of person that's going to make an excuse for not showing up to the gym. So I have no issue with going to the gym 30 minutes before they close to do a couple of reps and a couple of sets, just so I can look in the mirror and know that I at least showed up to the gym when I could that day. When it comes down to it over the long haul, it's really just about consistency, and you can dial in your performance after consistency is already a factor. Hope that helps. Question number 2 is hack squat or front squat better for quad gains? It's not about thinking which one is better. It's about thinking how can you include both into your program. A lot of people that get into lifting, bodybuilding, whatever the case may be, they're always asking themselves, what's the most optimal movement to do versus how can you optimize both of them into your program? Meaning like, what's better, peanut butter or jelly? Why not put them both in? Now, the person that asked me this question today was actually a student of mine. So for you, you'll be able to understand the lingo, but for everybody else, just follow along. When it comes down to main compound movements, really what I like doing is I like having barbell movements be the primary movers for each and every single session that I do. And then I'll typically have a hack squat be an accessory movement that I do a little bit later. They both have a place inside of a proper lifting program. So if your goal is purely hypertrophy, I would definitely prioritize the hack squat over the front squat if you don't necessarily care too much about stabilizing weight, you don't care too much about your posture, and all the other benefits that you would get from doing a barbell front squat. However, if you're someone that also wants to be functional, you would want to prioritize the front squat over the hack squat simply because it's a barbell and there's more stabilization involved in completing that movement. But again, when it comes down to which one is better, the research is going to say a ton of different things, but really when it comes down to it, man, we are all individual people, right? So even though the body is pretty much built the same throughout everybody, meaning like a human male is a human male. When it comes down to it, there are certain movements that work better for some of us than others do for other people, right? So for me, cable face pulls work out my rear delts a ton. For some people, they don't feel it in their rear delts. So maybe do a machine fly, reverse fly, that feels better for them. There's really no right way to work out in general. There's no such thing as a mandatory movement. There's no such thing as a better movement. It just depends on what you're optimizing for. So question number 3 is, how can I stop being ashamed and scared of being a man? Like, how can I start to get in touch with my masculine energy? And thank you for getting back, man. He's been messaging me for a while. And this is actually a question that I've been wanting to answer for quite a while, because when it comes down to it, man, you got to understand that things like masculine energy and other things, right? Like happiness or whatever. These are all side effects of doing the right things, meaning that if you're doing things that make you sad, don't expect to feel happy. If you're doing things that make you feel feminine, don't expect to feel masculine. You got to understand that when it comes down to being a man, it's really just about doing the things that you say you're going to do, whether you feel like it or not, having integrity, having honor, and just understanding that being a male is different than being a man. But all in all, to give you some more tangible advice, man, when it comes down to what's helped me out personally, I've definitely found much more success in my life as a whole by just focusing on my work, right? I just focus on doing my work to the best of my ability. And the saying that I like living by is a man in motion is magnetic. And that comes down to every aspect of your life that a man wants, right? If you want more cash, start moving around. Things will start coming to you, right? If you want more friends, have things going on and start moving forward. Things will start coming to you. You want more dating options, start moving around, do your thing. Things start coming to you. So if you're having a tough time getting in touch with your masculine energy, man, all you got to do is you got to think about, and I know you're talking about shame a little bit earlier, bro, sometimes you just got to lay it out on the table and see what happens. You know, one thing that I live by is that I leave it all on the field, from like a football analogy, and I find out on the field too. Meaning that when it comes down to me being in any opportunity, right? I didn't know if I was ever going to be good at YouTube. I never thought I was going to do this, that, or the third. But instead of me talking myself out of an opportunity, I told myself, let me just find out on the field. Because when I was a little bit younger, my football coaches used to say, well, if we were going against a good team, we were going against this, and then some of the hype would be like, are they going to beat us? I heard the QB's this, I heard the running back's this. Can I cover if I was a defensive player, can I cover that receiver? And the coach would just say, find out on the field. So don't talk yourself out of anything. Do your best on the field. Leave it all out on there. Put all your energy into it, and then find out afterwards. So when it comes down to everything that I've done, man, I never talk myself out of situations. And when you play life on offense, things will work out for you in more ways than you can possibly imagine, dude.
So a lot of people always ask me, what kind of way should you be doing your barbell rows? Should you be doing them overhand, meaning pronated grip? If you're confused about what pronated grip means, think about a professional bike rider. That means hands over, right? Or you can do barbell rows supinated grip, meaning like you're a server and you're holding a bowl of soup in each hand. It really just depends on what you want to emphasize more so during the movement, right? If you want to emphasize mostly your back, you can actually do a pronated grip instead, and you'll be able to contract your lats a little bit better. Or if you want to get a little bit more bicep action in there too, you can do supinated grip also and get a better bang for your buck. Somewhere within, we were meant to live for so much more, and we lost ourselves.
You know, it's funny, man, because when it comes down to everything that I've ever wanted to do in my life, I've given it a shot. Meaning I wanted to be a football player. I wanted to be really good. I tried it. I was decent, but I wasn't the best, right? I wanted to be an all-star wrestler. Tried it. Didn't get to go to college, right? I wanted to be a basketball player. I didn't have any athletic ability at the time. Didn't make the team, but I tried it. I wanted to be good in school, in university. I wasn't able to do it. So the thing is, so if I was to die today, there's no stone that I've left unturned, because every single venture that I've wanted to do, every single chance I've wanted to do, every single person I've wanted to meet or interact with, at least knows who I am. And whether their answer is yes or no, to me, it's absolutely it means nothing to me, because I'm taking all these shots at every single thing that I do, and I want to find out on the field. That way I can sleep at night peacefully, you know? Because I don't know about you, man, but I can handle a no. I can handle a not yet. I can handle a thank you, but no thank you in any regard. But I cannot handle me going to sleep at night thinking what if, and trying to figure out what the answer would have been. I'd rather just find out the truth, figure out what it is, lay it out on the table, and see what happens. You know what I mean? I would definitely read the book The Way of Men by Jack Donovan, and I would also read the book The Way of the Superior Man as well. But all in all, man, just focus on your work, focus on doing the best that you can, focus on controlling what you can. Get out of your emotions, the good, the bad, the ugly, whatever the case may be. Just ignore your emotions. Use them as temperature checks for how you're doing in life, but don't necessarily follow them. Practice stoicism, rationality, get aggressive, get confident, become extremely dominant in one area of your life. For me, I started with my fitness, and then once one area of your life is completely maxed out, you're gonna feel out of place by having the other areas not necessarily maxed out to that same level. So the cool part about me starting with my fitness is I was able to dial in one area to 100% for myself, and I was able to slowly catch up the other areas to that same 100%. And over time, you end up being like a video game character with all of these things maxed out. You know what I mean? So that's what it's about, man.
Sometimes I'll do these muscle ups just to decompress my spine a little bit. Nothing feels better, man, I'm telling you. You just kind of hang from your fingertips here, swing back and forth. Feels good, man, I'm telling you.
Number 3, have I ever tried intermittent fasting? When I was a little bit younger, man, I used to do every single thing under the sun, right? I used to do keto, I used to do intermittent fasting, I used to do carb loading, carb back loading, whatever the case, carb front loading, one meal a day, all of these things, right? And when it comes down to it, man, I've
wasted literal years looking up information on these things, looking up this, looking up that, trying to figure out the best way to lose body fat. But once I realized that I was majoring in minor things and I wasn't focusing on the thing that actually caused a result, which is just being in a calorie deficit, I just threw all that stuff out of the window, dude. You know, there's a ton of health benefits to anything that you do. There's a lot of people that can be on team keto. A lot of people can be on team intermittent fasting. I'm on the team balanced diet. You know what I mean? Really, man, it's about finding something that you can stick to long term, because if you can't stick with it long term, you shouldn't do it in the short term. That's what I always tell people. And when it comes down to just general health as a whole. But again, it's not going to make or break you. If you do have that one meal a day and then you do choose to have more calories than you burned in that day, regardless if your fasting ratio is 16 to 8, 20 to 4, or 23 to 1, the number on the scale isn't going to move in the direction that you really want it to move in unless you dial in your calorie deficit, which is going to be caused by your nutrition and your activity level. But do your own research. That's my experience.
So the next movement that we're going to be doing here, guys, we're going to be doing some high rows on this hammer strength machine that just feel absolutely wonderful after you do any kind of horizontal pulling motion. What I'm going to do right here is I'm going to be going unilaterally, which means I'm going to be using one side of my body at a time. You're going for about 12 reps.
Number 5, what are my fitness goals at this point? Funny enough, right, you all are going to be seeing a water fasting video coming out this Friday. Me saying that right now is also holding myself accountable to editing, because it's going to be a pain to edit if I want to do my best, which again, that's what we do here, right? I only do my best at everything I do, right? And when it comes down to it, though, to get back to earth, besides me just hyping myself up on camera, I've been in a calorie deficit for so long, man, trying to do this whole lean gain, this whole main gaining thing. And I ended up doing a water fast because I wasn't properly reverse dieting the way that I should have been, in full transparency. Whenever you try to maintain a low body fat percentage year round and your body's not necessarily geared for that genetically, it's such a pain staying at that body fat percentage, man. And for me, I can do it, but sometimes it's at the cost of my gym performance. You know, my back squat strength has gone down tremendously. My bench press strength has gone down tremendously. And recently I went on a diet break for about a week and a half in order to just enjoy some food again, give myself a mental break. And now what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a lean bulk to gain some lost muscle mass that I ended up losing over a 6-month stretch of being in a calorie deficit on and off, because it was hard for me to maintain that body fat percentage for my body personally. I can be lean for a week, I can be lean for a month, 2 months, 3 months even, right? But for any longer than that, personally speaking, I just lose a lot of muscle mass that I don't really want to lose at this point. It's already hard for me to gain muscle as it is. And for a lot of what I do, it's more personality based than it is aesthetic based for the content and business that I have. So thankfully, with the way that I'm building my brand, I don't necessarily feel pressured to be 4% body fat year round. I don't feel like I have to be 220 pounds, jacked out of my mind. I don't feel like I ever have to take steroids unless my testosterone is literally at a low level to where I would want to do it just for health reasons or anything of that nature. You know, when it comes down to it, people follow me and people subscribe to my channel for me and my belief systems and my personality. And guys that I follow a lot that really resonate with me are guys like Jesse James West, Max Tuning, and guys that kind of lead with their personality, still prioritize fitness, but you follow them for them more so than the way that they look in the mirror on any given day. So right now what I'm doing is I'm getting on a nice lean bulk. I'll probably start cutting right around my birthday in January just to get a 6-pack again, see how much muscle mass I put back on, and we'll just go from there. But in this season of my life right now, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a lean bulk. All I'm doing really, and to give you all some context with my nutrition, all I'm doing is adding some jasmine rice and some protein shakes and with the foods that I was already eating when I was cutting down. A lot of people, when they start going from cutting to bulking, they'll completely throw away the same diligentness that they had when they were cutting. The only thing that should change between bulking and cutting is the amount of food that you're eating. So I'm still going to be extremely diligent with the food sources that I eat. I'm still going to be extremely diligent with how I'm tracking my foods, how I'm weighing my foods, and how I'm measuring everything that I'm putting inside of my body. And my food selection is going to be the exact same that I was doing when I was cutting down. The only thing that's changing is the portion. So instead of me having 1 crumble cookie a week, I might have 2. And instead of me having a 1/4 cup of rice, I might have 2 cups of rice. But the food sources that I'm eating are going to be the exact same. Number 6, do I believe in conspiracy theories? When it comes down to conspiracy theories, man, I think they're cool to kind of think about and just, you know, let your brain wander. But all in all, dude, I think when people get very into conspiracy theories, you can almost just start dissociating yourself from society, from the world as a whole, and you can almost be a little neurotic if you're not careful. You know, I can't imagine being someone that really takes a lot of these things very seriously, even if they are true, right? Because the thing is, I try to optimize for having the best life experience personally and how I can help other people do the same thing versus trying to optimize for the truth. I'd rather be blissfully ignorant than super woke and super aware of everything going on, but being absolutely miserable and feeling like I can't beat this monster of what people would call the powers that be. So when it comes down to it, man, I don't care if people think that this event was staged. I don't care if people think there's lizard people in this world. I don't care if people think aliens are real. To me, I don't waste my time on that because when it comes down to it, if your own personal reality isn't dialed into the letter, if you're not driving the exact car that you want, if you don't have the exact amount of money that you want, if your body doesn't look the exact way that you want, the last thing you should be doing is worrying about if there's lizard people in office. The last thing you should be doing is worrying about if reality is fake or real or a simulation. You got to get yourself in order before you start questioning reality as a whole. You start realizing that even if you do want to be on that side of the fight, you're just not going to win, you know? It's not worth it, in my opinion, to go against something that you just can't win against. And you know, if you think about it, Kanye's getting canceled, Andrew Tate got kicked off of YouTube, and while I can respect what they're doing and I can respect the message that they're trying to portray, for me personally, you call me selfish, you call me whatever, I just call it being a productive member of the society that we know exists, not the society that might exist off a theory in a YouTube video that we might have seen from, and just win in this realm, bro, because you can live a really good life just playing by the rules. A lot of people try to break the rules of what governs society as a whole. And if you're trying to break the rules and go against the system, don't expect to get out scot-free. But that's the way I view it though. And again, the only reason I really view it that way is because I only want to focus on the things that I can control. I think entertaining things like conspiracy theories and what's real versus what's fake is just such a endless path to go down that if you're not careful, you'll absolutely drive yourself crazy and you'll end up dissociating yourself from a lot of things that just make people. It's fine to be normal. It's fine to be chill. Trust me, when you take your cape off, that's when you actually become a super person versus you trying to put a cape on and have this superiority complex because you know this about lizard people or you know this about that. Like, just chill, be normal, and I promise everything else will turn out for you. And number 7, what can I add to my workout? For example, fasting, drinking lots of water, and creatine that will help with losing more body fat. Dude, all you got to do is get into calorie deficit and just go hard, bro. That's really it. I mean, I think a lot of people look at information as the thing that they're lacking versus relentless execution. And whenever you get into information mode, all you're going to do is read all the books in the world. All you're going to do is read all the articles in the world. All you're going to do is watch all the YouTube videos in the world about this protocol, and that approach. And then when you fast forward a week, 2 weeks, a year, or 2 years, you're in the exact same spot because you thought that you were lacking information when really what you're lacking is the execution. And last but not least, what can I add to my workout regimen? It's kind of hard to say what you should add to your workout regimen, dude. All in all, I know you and I have had some private conversations about coaching. I always tell people, man, when it comes down to it, I know I'm biased, but coaching is really the best bet that you all have with getting the exact body that you want. Because here's the thing, man, like I said earlier, information is not the issue in today's society kind of thing. We have more information at the palm of our hands literally than we've ever had in human history. But the reason why people don't have the results that they want to have is because they refuse to execute on the information that they have. You know, sometimes they'll get analysis paralysis. They'll read all of this information, they'll consume all of this information on the internet, but they refuse to put it into action. And when they refuse to put it into action, guess what? You're going to get absolutely zero results because of it. One approach that I like doing with a lot of stuff, man, is I like to fail my way to success. You know, it's not about having the perfect approach before you start. It's about starting even if you don't have the perfect approach. And as you're moving forward, you start figuring out what works, what doesn't work, and then you throw away the stuff that doesn't work and you start just amplifying the things that do work. I've done that with business, I've done that with fitness, I've done that with every area of my life. I just start, I go hard, I figure out what I'm doing right, I figure out what I'm doing wrong, and then I correct where necessary in order to get the desired outcome that I want. And once I get the desired outcome that I want, I figure out what it is exactly that I did to get that, and I just repeat that over and over and over and over in order to just keep that cycle going for the long haul. So that'll be the end of today's Q&A video, guys. Thank you all for watching. Again, if you want to find out more information to see if or how you qualify to work one-on-one with the Basics team, please visit www.basicsbrigade.com/booking-page. You can also click the very first link in the video description of this YouTube video or check out the link in the pinned comment and you'll see it right there. And thank you all for participating in the Q&A. For those of you all that ended up asking your questions, it means more to me than you can possibly imagine because that's what I'm in this for. And again, if you want to participate in the next Q&A that I do, go ahead and follow my Instagram at AaronAlanisFit. That's the one platform that you're going to have the most direct access to myself on a day-to-day basis. So again, if no one's told you in a minute, I will tell you right now, it's time to get your shit together, man. See ya.